The Director of Teaching and Learning at Rumba Theater Company. Pronouns are he, him, him. You are in, from page to stage, you're producing a school musical. Hopefully that's the session you wanted to be in today. I have a colleague who's supposed to participate with me or co-consulting with me named Kemba Lodescar, but she is out of the today. So you just get me his hopefully Kemba. Yeah, you know Kemba? Yeah, she couldn't make it today. So we were supposed to do this together, but
with the Queen's sound.
Exactly. So you just get me today. So hopefully that'll be a-okay. And let's do this. Like, if we could just go around, if you don't mind, just sharing your name, your pronouns if you wish, and the school in which you teach. Well, good.
Cool. I'm Jonathan, he, him, his. I teach at Amistad Dual Language School, which is K through 8, in Inwood, Manhattan.
I am Hunter, and I teach in Queens at Eagle Academy. I teach theater, media arts, and a lot of other things.
I'm Rachel. I'm in Flushing, K to 5. I'm Melody. I'm a student and sometimes a producer and work with an intern in Peter.
Great.
Hi, my name is Kelly McCready's and I teach theater at PS 889 and MS 890 in Brooklyn.
Hi, I'm Liza. I teach at Urban Assembly of Music and Art in Great.
I'm Laurence, pronounced she, her. I teach at White Laureate Academy in Bed-Stuy, 6th grade.
Hey, I'm Ken Spector. I teach at PS 305 in Ridgewood, Queens. I'm the theater teacher.
I'm Ron Micah. I teach at the High School for Arts and Business, 9 through 12.
Great. I'm Ryan Rousey. I teach at Susan S. McKinney and 9 through 12 in Brooklyn.
I'm Crystal Simon. I teach at PS 45 in South Ozone Park, Queens, and at the Elementary School.
Good. All right. And how many of you have been teaching for 1 to 2 years? 3 or 4? 45? 5 and beyond? Okay, great. How many of you have produced a show at your school before? Okay, so some of you have some experience making the magic happen at your school. Our workshop today is going to be exploring just sort of the production process. For some of you, this might be old hat. For some of you, it's going to be brand new. Hopefully, for all of you, you'll walk away with something that you can take and use with your students and at your schools. But first thing we're going to do is just make eye contact with someone across the circle and partner up. Find a spot next to each other in the circle. So find a partner, someone ideally that's not someone you know.
Run.
Starting with
Okay. Yes. And eat your pears. Figure out where you want it. You understand it. Alright. So I stay with that. Alright. So in your pairs, what I want you to think about is we're specifically focusing on musicals here today. What is the first musical that you ever saw or participated in? And what is one memorable experience from that production? So one musical that you saw, the first musical you saw or participated in, and one memorable experience. I'll give you about a few minutes to share with your partner.
Wow. It's so Kirsty. Please, serious. Please.
Everything Eric saw wrote it. First,
I think you need very much that easy
In a little destroyer, also this nice was just
But a memorable experience in TV and so he did it. And the ball for you. Just sitting in front of her the entire auditorium. Terrifying, but amazing.
Yeah, lots of films. The first live experience I saw was in Malaysia.
Raw videos, I just bought it, came out, and just kept going. The outstanding cover, even though my mustache still, I feel.
And that's great. You know, like, I just never had that instinct to just keep it going. Oh,
Yeah. There's probably caper with Tick Scott.
during the first show you saw.
Different. Broadway, the movie like 9, London, and it acts little that is text. The initiatives, one like two. A dream and some like chat and about Norway and Norway. Yeah, very opening. I think English is really easy because it's a very catchy. It's really extremely like winding down. A little island logic, but in Broadway, S1 is to be hands-on study teaching. I like the ticket it's very new. You got the two.
Is your installation? Yeah.
Give you a few seconds to finish for your last dog.
The last one I will carry.
Let's come back to the circle if you don't mind. Thank you. And yeah. Don't want to interrupt. I know. And I realized that I forgot to allow my friend here to introduce herself. So do you mind introducing yourself and saying your name, where you teach?
I'm Gwen, or Guinevere. I teach at Esperanza Preparatory Magnet School in East Harlem. I'm a SPED teacher, so I only teach drama one period this year. Hopefully next year I will more. So I spend a lot of time teaching every other subject. But
Sorry,
I'm trying to, But next year they tell me I'll get to do more dramas.
She handed me the roll of tape, and I just forgot to let her introduce herself. So sorry about that. Who wants to share maybe something that they heard their partner share, or share a little bit about maybe their own experience in seeing a show or being in a show? Yeah.
Rachel's first show was Annie, and she said it really moved her, and now like every time she sees a production of Annie, it brings her to tears.
Were you in it, or were you?
No,
You saw it.
8 years old.
Okay. Did that during the whole Annie era? Yes, I'm sure. Yeah.
It was funny because Ken and I both shared moments when something went wrong on stage when we were a kid, and we just adapted to the moment. So.
Okay. Great. Under 6th grade, The Wiz, dancing, but he's not a dancer. Yeah.
Gwen Flashberg, her first show to being a person who sang her entire life, did not want to sing. First show. I'm serious.
Yeah, she's serious for singing.
Anyone?
Well, I reflected that I don't remember the first musical I saw, just because I didn't grow up here, so musicals are not part of my world. But I'm connected to musicals through film. So West Side Story, the film versions.
Great. Great. Some of the things I heard were maybe things that were new to you, but were an interesting or fun challenge, or working through a challenge and having a positive experience from that, right? Or just experiencing something that brought you a lot of light and joy and happiness, right? That still resonates with you to this day. And so in my work at Roundabout Theater Company, I am in charge of the school programs, and something that that we do is that we support schools either through teaching theater during the school day or with their after-school productions, right? Specifically with the technical side of their productions. And this teacher's no longer with NYC DOE, so I can share a little bit about their story. But I remember we were working with a first-year teacher who wanted to do a play. And we met with him just to sort of assess, like, all right, what are your goals? And he said, I think I want to do a Raisin in the Sun in a month. And we were like, have you gotten the rights to the show? He's like, no. Have you had auditions yet? No. And so we were like, all right, maybe let's scale this back a little bit, and then let's just sort of look at the wide scope of everything that should or could happen before you even get to your performance, right? So that was a little bit of the inspiration for this particular session. So our thematic question, Ron always uses a thematic question, is how does a theater educator assess their resources to develop a sustainable production plan? So our goal today is that we're going to take a little bit of time to just assess what are the resources that you have at your school, right? What are the supports that you might need, right, in order to put on a show? Could be a play or a musical. We're gonna look at a potential production calendar and then collaboratively work on a plan for an imaginary show. So that's sort of our agenda for the day, right? So we're gonna do a little bit of like individual work at first, and then we're gonna jump into some collaborative brainstorming processes as a part of this. You good?
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing I want to do is give you some time to sort of assess your resources, right? So I have this little questionnaire that Kemba has created, she's not here today, that she used for her own productions. So we're going to do is just take a few minutes to fill this out for ourselves. Those of you who have done it, you might, this will be familiar. This will be something that is not going to be novel to you. But for everyone, hopefully it'll give you some things to think about from the very beginning when you are trying to put on a show at your school. And do we need one more?
Yes, just one more.
And we have pens over here. Oh. If folks need them. One more. So we're just going to take about, 5-10 minutes to fill this out. Yep. Pen. Pen. Good. Good. And I'll just play some tunage while we do this for a few minutes. If you haven't done a show, just imagine that you're going to do one at your school. Crystal, I have blank copies that you can take with you too if you want.
Oh,
And I'll share a digital version of that as well. Yeah. I'm the director of teaching and learning. So I oversee all of the school programs at the. Yeah. What's the last music?
Is it more recent than this one? I can see it. Remember the name?
It's all good. Somebody come see you there.
Yeah. There's an issue with a family, black family that had issues with the over the wheelchair.
I've only been there for 2 years. You might be before intended. Was it the refuge place?
No.
No. Home?
Homes at the this one, like, so probably was the last bit of the Brown about.
Okay.
So we just played it all there.
Great.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Seems like most folks are getting close to being done. Turn off my lo-fi Afro beats for a second. Anyone want to share maybe something that came up for them as they were completing the questionnaire for themselves, or maybe share some things that you were surprised that maybe you hadn't thought about in a production process for yourself before? Yeah.
I realize we have a lot of students participating, but our budget doesn't. It's like we have like 30 to 50 people participating, but our budget is under 1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing again how little rehearsal time we have because I had to make my own checkbox for 1 day a week.
Yes. And so obviously, like, if you're only meeting with your students 1 day a week and you want to have a fully staged show, it impacts how long you probably need to rehearse for, right?
Yeah.
You can't do something in 4 weeks, right? So how long is your rehearsal process normally?
We do like a semester basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So about 14 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'm in 2 schools. My elementary, it's like during their school day, so we have like 7 months. It's like a good chunk of the school year, and then the middle school we do it after school.
Great. Anyone else want to share a little bit about their situation at their school? Yeah.
So I inherited a classroom with tons of technical equipment, lights, microphones, soundboards. Nobody knows if they work, how to work them, because there's been such turnaround in the school that whoever was there prior to me is gone, as well as all the teachers that were involved in.
That's something we come across a lot as well. It's equipment that has been there, is maybe shared by multiple schools in the same building. No one knows how to use it, or it's so archaic that it doesn't necessarily work anymore. So then how do you assess what you've got in order to begin the process, right, even at that time? Anyone else? For those of you that have done it before, were there any questions that are potentially missing off of this questionnaire that have been through this process, or things that you think about or try to incorporate into your planning process?
I would probably say teacher buy-in, because I'm like the fun teacher. So it's like, he can't go on another trip with you, or he's not allowed to go to that because he hasn't done his social studies homework. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? He's needed. He's the technical director, or whatever.
The art of the reward.
Yeah,
or
like,
that's
what?
like a essential component of their education.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the classroom teacher, because you're stepping in, you're pushing into their classroom and getting their support, or?
No, I have my own classroom. Excuse me, but having other teachers buy into the power and the importance of the arts is vital.
Yeah.
It's actually then the art and music departments and the dance department actually work with me.
Yeah.
Because they're all so in on their spring concerts and this and that. And the reason I'm taking this is because my dream before I retire is to do a musical.
Okay.
And I've never done one because every time I try to get somebody, it's, well, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So we now have a second music teacher in the building, so I'm hoping that I might be able to enlist that particular person to help me out.
Great. Yes, I hear you. I think this is something I see a lot as well, where it's one teacher trying to do it all, and that just leads to burnout. So I think when you're thinking about resources available to you, who are the other human resources that could step in? And potentially if it's not other teachers at the school, is there an organization or colleagues that you know from outside of the school that could potentially step in to support as well, right? As long as the school is okay with outsiders coming in and being a part of the process.
One challenge is also just like choosing what to do and then committing to it.
Okay.
And like selling it.
Yeah.
Right? To the kids.
Yeah. I think, we work at the high school for art and design, which does not have a theater program. And so they do musicals every year after school. The kids tend to do most of it, but the students were also involved with the musical selection process. And so they are very ambitious, and they don't know what they don't know. And so a couple of years ago, they did Legally Blonde, and it was a lot of costumes. They just didn't take into account like the quick changes and everything that's going to go into that. And then at the end of that year, they were looking at musicals and they wanted to do Into the Woods. There's no musical director. There's no voice class, right? And so we were like, all right, let's think about what is within the realm of what is possible at this particular school, right? And I think they did The Lightning Thief instead, right? So it is a little bit about like understanding, using the resources that you have, using the support that you have can help with the selection process itself, right? And then ultimately, I think knowing the students and what skills or experience they might have. But we can talk a little bit towards the end of like identifying possible productions that could be useful, and then ways that you can help yourself if you don't have some of the additional folks to help you out. Yeah?
Oh, I just wanted to add, I found that a good resource to have when you don't have that many is if you know there's a parent that's wants to be so involved, and their kid is good enough to be the lead in the show, then you have a co-director for free right there.
Yeah. We, for example, work with Hamilton Grange Low School. So we, again, send teaching artists to support the school. We have a teaching artist that's supporting with scenic, right? So building the sets, helping the middle schoolers build the sets. And the drama teacher there decided to have the build crew meet on Saturdays with the teaching artist. And what that meant is that the parents were able to come in, the ones that felt really handy or that loved working with power tools were able to come in and help build the sets. So the teaching artist could work with the adults with the saws and then work with the young people to assemble everything, right? So they were able to create a structure that supported, that had that they invited the parents in a way that made sense with their schedules, which was really cool. So let's do this. Now that we've gone a little bit, you've assessed the resources at your particular sites. Let's look at this wall here. So what we're going to do next is look at steps within the production process, and collaboratively, we're going to figure out where they go. So we have up here the spring semester, potentially starting in December. And in this, ideal calendar, each month has 4 weeks. So what we're going to do is that there's different components to the production process. There's pre-production, rehearsal, tech week, dress rehearsal, and performance and beyond. So what I'd love for you to do as a group, we have all of these different moments within a production process. I'd love for you as a group to decide where they go on this calendar. So thinking about maybe potentially performances being in May, you're going to fill it in backwards. So as a group, so all of these pieces are here. We have tape right there. So if you don't mind getting up and giving it a go.
Awesome.
Strike would be last.
Well, postmortem would be last. Unless there's something that comes after that too, right?
And then you can have more than one thing happen in the same week, obviously, right?
Yeah. There are
Right, so-
6 months and 5 course steps. Give me about model space from that.
And if you don't mind taping them on the wall under the week that you think it should go, that would be helpful.
Are we moving those 5 over here?
We could.
Assembly, the creative team, yours first. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So think about where you wanted to go in what week of the month you want that to go.
Thinking this first. It's probably
Performances are going to come out busy, right? Through the director.
And if you think anything has to happen even before this, you can also, maybe even a bit further to the left.
I know, it's like, I feel like it's like.
The year before, right?
Well, maybe getting the rights. The paying for it seems to happen in my school till January.
Okay.
Like using online resources that are prescribed. And then finally I can measure it.
I think it might be earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then, because you're making stuff. Yeah, so propose the strike, those one. We could go to your end. What's strike? Doing strike, post-mortem flash.
Straight for the coast of happen.
That's right. Oh, I was thinking straight in at the end. It's like and then post-mortem in real life.
Excellent.
Which one? This one? That one? Yeah. Before the sunset.
Yeah.
Just stay at the
No, but not this time. It's gonna be here. I want it. Here.
Okay, sorry.
Still, piece of it.
Yeah, I guess either one later. It could be March.
And more than one thing can happen on the same week.
I know.
Oh, okay.
More than one thing can happen on the same week.
Okay.
Here, maybe it.
This is great.
What? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fittings should be happening.
That's great. That's awesome.
Right?
It's great.
When? What do you guess?
I think it should be review design.
Technical structure.
Do you think this goes here when we switch?
Because they're gonna build it first.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the costume fittings need to go in February because everything is finalized.
Great.
Costume fittings earlier.
Yeah.
So has
I think
this one's here.
Yeah. But
What are your plans?
it could go underneath it.
This should happen
Here.
Under February.
Here.
transition.
Oh, there.
And I think that this is way too close to the show, and it would be a
This
complete
that
disaster.
designed all the designs. That's the other display.
No, it's not.
You gotta,
What are you holding?
do this with the scoop.
Yeah.
Sternizing budget definitely has to be here.
Or it can happen before you or December.
Oh, it's here before the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
A month before the show, then they get
January stuff.
Where do we have rehearsal beginning against that? Is that even planned?
Yeah, this is kind of. I think it'd be rehearsing
Yeah.
this.
Maybe we're missing a.
We can make one.
We can make
We could also. I mean, that could also be.
So those are the different components, right? So when would you begin rehearsals?
After your position. Design large.
Do we feel like we need a production meeting later on in the
Yeah, I feel like
spring would be April?
Jeremy's happy.
I'm gonna slide tech. If we're already doing this thing's more dressing, it's
Okay. So let's have a look. Have a look across your calendar here and see if everything feels correct to you. And I should have mentioned that in this imaginary production, maybe you meet with the students 3 to 4 times a week, right?
So.
Say it again? Yeah. Obviously, if you're meeting with your students once a week, this might be spread out a little bit more, right? Great. We feeling good about this? Okay. I have some thoughts in this imaginary production where we are meeting with the students 3 to 4 times a week, right? If we are saying that performances are on this week, right? Generally speaking, the week before would be tech. Right? So this week would be tech. Right here. And there's many things that happen during tech. Which is this, right? Cast and crew rehearse full show with costumes and tech without stopping. You could potentially have tech. What is over there that I am missing? That's pre-production.
Yeah.
We are looking at. You could potentially do actually something along the lines of this: tech, and then you have dress rehearsals.
Yeah.
And previews potentially, and then you have your performances, right?
Yeah.
So then, this is cast and crew rehearsal show with costumes and tech without stopping. Dress rehearsal, you're doing it here, right? Costume changes are practiced during this week. Actors and technicians rehearse show with technical elements that happens that week, right? Lighting cues are set. That happens this week.
Mm-hmm.
Load in
Like the week before.
the week before that, right? Now, again, if you're meeting with your students once a week, there might be multiple weeks of tech, right? Where you're getting the students to really become familiar with all of this. Let's see. Director and designers make final edits to blocking and design elements. That would most likely happen either here or here, right? So you're doing it during tech. After your dress rehearsal and previews, it's locked, right? So these are the final changes to any blocking, lighting, sound. You're going to make it before you get into performances. Where do you all think that scene shifts are rehearsed? If you're talking about moving set pieces. Right?
Wow, it's a lot.
Okay. Anything seen like it's still within or the right spot should be different? If you're doing tech on this week, when should you be building your sets or start building your sets?
Like 2 months. 2 months ahead. 2 months ahead.
So maybe we can put this over here,
Yeah.
right? So we're having rehearsals starting in January. So we can say maybe rehearsal production begins here. That seems fine to me that costume fittings could happen anywhere along this timeline to here, right? So as the students are rehearsing, you're hopefully finding time where they can do costume fittings. This feels like it could be there, it could be potentially sooner, so that if you are building your sets here,
You want those finalized?
you want those finalized probably here, right? This seems good. This seems good. That's the rehearsal planning potential. I forgot to include a card that's just rehearsals, like the production process begins. But this feels about right for this imaginary production of students meeting 3 to 4 times a week. Any surprises for you all? Anything that stands out?
How much was at the back end, especially with the time getting dressed and lighting and everything? It's a lot to do within a short period of time.
Do any of you do more production meetings or less production meetings?
We do more production meetings once we get closer to tech week.
One thing I found in some of the schools that we support is that sometimes there's no production meetings. And then what that means, and there might be multiple teachers that are, they're lucky to have multiple teachers that are working on it, but no one knows who's on first, right? Or if we're bringing in teaching artists to support with building the sets or building out the lights or the sounds, no one is getting information across the team. So this coming year, I'm really trying to institute more of a production meeting process with potentially, an agenda where you just go over each department. Ideally, you have a director who has a concept. They've assembled a team that they trust, right? You have had a moment to review the initial design concepts, right? And then you're having meetings across your production process to ensure that everyone's on the same page. How many of you have stage managers for your productions? Okay. How do you communicate things that come up in the rehearsals to the designers or the people that are building out potentially? If you're lucky enough to have separate people from yourself that are helping you build sets or with the lights or with the sound, how do you communicate things that come up during the rehearsal process to those folks?
I bought some headsets that allow me to communicate with the students. The director is a student. Everyone's a student. I mean, I'm just kind of in the audience, just are you sure this is the way it should go? And I'm questioning at every minute. And they're really taking charge and taking leadership roles in making this happen. So I bought some headsets so they can communicate with each other. We only had one production meeting.
And that's during the performances?
That was June.
I'm thinking more along, say, from the beginning of your rehearsal process, right? When you start rehearsing and blocking with students, how are you documenting things that come up in the rehearsal, and then how are you sharing important information to the team?
I tried to do rehearsal reports.
Okay, great.
But then when staff doesn't read them, I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to text them.
Okay.
So then it's I feel like it's trying to find a double-pronged method of approach, to get the communication there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yeah.
I make I have the script typed and printed, not in the books, so I can make photocopies, and then I color code every single job and then I just say, hand it to whoever's doing it. You're red. Do what it says for red at this point. And then when we do like the full like rehearsals with tech and everything, I let the stage managers or anyone doing their job be like, look, you're in charge of this part. So tell me anything you think that needs to be different and just give me the notes. And then I write it all down and then I give them the revised and we just keep revising it until everything works for everyone. And then you just run on the script. Script runs itself.
Right. I worked yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say this is my school's first time ever having a theater department, and it's been a little challenging because everything is falling on me. I did recruit some teachers that are like by my side, but we're heading into Tech Week, and I'm like, I don't know which elements to introduce first to this example. For example, we haven't done costumes. They all have costumes, but we haven't done a rehearsal with them actually doing their costume changes.
So like a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you practice costume changes and the full either does.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're trying to figure out how to incorporate that into the process, or?
Yeah, because we still have to we're still learning our scene changes, and I'm not like, do we get our scene changes tight first and then add the costumes, or is it like we do it all together?
In my opinion, might be different for someone else, is that the moving of the sets and set pieces is about safety, right? So you want to focus on that so that they have that solid, and then you can layer on top of that. That would be my opinion. I don't know if anyone else has a different.
Do costumes last.
Do costumes last, right? So that as long as they're comfortable, like moving tables or like moving flats, and no one's going to get hurt, and everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to do, I would do that. So it's like sets, like figure out where your props are going to go, right? And then as part of your tech week, or leading up to this tech week and dress rehearsals, you do costumes at the last moment. And then you can rehearse the changes, where the costumes go backstage. That's really important. Have a setup, maybe hooks, so that they don't end up on the floor, because they will. I was going to say, going back to what you mentioned earlier, I worked at ACT in San Francisco as well, and we did a production with students that were a part of a continuation school out there, and many folks that were new to the theatrical process. And I worked with someone that had a lot of producing experience. I'd get so frustrated that people were not reading the rehearsal report. And so I would say, these are people that have full-time jobs. They're new to this process. It's not something that they're used to. We have to create the culture around that. But what we ended up doing is that she would print out the rehearsal report, and we had a bulletin board that was where everyone had to sign in. And then she would put the notes from the previous rehearsal there and highlighted things that people needed to do, right? So the routine became come in, sign in, read the rehearsal report. Or what I found, because I work with teaching artists that work for many organizations and might have multiple emails, is that if I have something that I need them to read, I'll send it and then I'll text them and I'll be like, check your email. There's something in there that I need you to review before tomorrow, right? So I think learning what the communication preferences are for the folks that you're working with, and maybe that could be a part of your initial, right, sort of production process. That could be one of your questions, like, how do you want me to share information with you, and what's the best way for you to receive it?
I feel like something that I want to mess around with too is just creating a Google Classroom, right? So that way we just have that hub, and you can check it, and
That's the only way we've gotten ours done, because we have such a short rehearsal time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but we record every rehearsal. We post it to Google Classroom so they can practice at home with their parents, because we don't even have time to do cleaning.
Yeah.
I have to share the same with you. Google Classroom was amazing, especially even during lockdown. We actually did Dracula, and everybody was in different places, but we were able to coordinate and do the entire thing, including sound effects and backdrops and scenes and that stuff. So it's a great resource to use.
All right. Any additional thoughts about our beautiful production calendar that we've created? Yes.
I guess, so I'm in the middle of Tech Week. We open tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm always just kind of like, oh, why are we so last minute with everything? But when we all laid it out, it was like we all wanted to get other stuff done beforehand, but there's some stuff you just can't do until Tech Week. And I also think it's part of our job as directors to be the one who tells everyone it's okay if these things are happening now. They're supposed to, like, don't freak out. And I think being comfortable with the chaos is something that's really important to remember, that, like, if you're doing set changes in Tech Week, it's not because you planned improperly, but because you just need to make sure you have a plan to do this now.
And one thing that I think you might consider for yourselves, right? If you're seeing that there's these like points of friction, does it have to be Tech Weeks?
Right.
Can it be more than one, right? And then you plan backwards that way. Something that I didn't have up here is a dry tech, right? So when are you getting your technicians and just practicing like the lights and the sounds without the students making you crazy in the space, right? So it's just like the folks that are in charge of that, or the students that are in charge of like running your boards, potentially, ideally, that are practicing that first, and then you bring in the actors and fold them into the process, just to avoid a little bit of the crazy makingness of it all.
One thing that I'm thinking of is, well, first of all, is how did you get that printed on the sticky notes is wild.
I'll show you.
Second of all is if we called each index card an element, right? How do I know which elements I need and what am I missing? Right? Like, how do I know?
So I will share with you the lesson plan that I have here. These are the different components of a production that we generally review with. So this was part of a production management residency that we did, where someone came in and worked with the students and worked with the teacher to come up with a production management process for the school. This is at Curtis High School in Staten Island, right? So these are the elements that the teaching artist, who's a production manager, works on Fashion Week, thought were the key components, right? I think it could be helpful for you with your students to do this as well, so that they get this into their heads of like, this is everything that goes into a production, everything that you as the director are thinking about, and this is why they need to stay focused and be great supporters, right? Because there's a lot going on, right? I think what I can do is, I think in the lesson plan it includes all of these different steps. I think I need to make a note for myself about dry tech, but this is generally everything you're going to be, that you should be doing as a part of a production process. I think in the rehearsal production, like, you're going to have to come up with the rehearsal script, right? So we'll work on that in a minute. How long do we have in this particular session? Because your colleagues be moving along. Okay. So what have the schedule for today? I had it around.
Here.
Okay. We are going until
I was
11:10.
You had way more.
Okay, great. So this is what we're gonna do. Get into, how many of us are there? 1, 2. Let's get into groups of 3. So just show the corners, get into groups of 3.
Hey, see you guys.
There you go. One group might have 4, I believe.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You got it.
Okay. Say it again.
You got pictures with these.
Yes. So this is what we're gonna do. In your groups, now that we know a little bit, so groups of 3. You 3 are together. You 3 are together. You 2 together. All right. Great. You're almost there. And what we're gonna do now, so I'm gonna give you a challenge in like the 10 minutes that we have left. I'm gonna give you a production with a budget, a location, and you're gonna, taking everything that we've discussed, create a production plan. I have this template here. I'll also share a digital version of this, and I have a production calendar. So for this production that I'm gonna give you, you're gonna come up with a production plan, and hopefully we'll have enough time to share that out. So here's your calendar. Here's your calendar. Calendar. Plan.
Looking at next year.
And so I filled this out with the dates for next year. So you have that. And then your challenge, should you accept it, is to create a plan for this particular production that I am giving you at the moment. So those are your constraints.
No.
Those are your districts.
I guess look at this first. Our planning template and then the calendar.
So we have it's a fine arts and music and chorus and everything else, but not a drama club. And I said to the principal, how often have a drama at the School for Arts and Business when you don't have drama? So everything's after school, and I'm always competing with the other after school things, especially then in that brilliant.
So this is your wheelhouse.
This is in my wheel, exactly.
This will be one day.
Wait, so what are some challenges that you face with after school?
Well, again,
Like touching props and like people like messing with the stuff.
actually having the space all the time because it's here. We don't have an auditorium for the theater in San Francisco, so it's the cafeteria. And we have an after-school program, right? The city program, like for students who are trying to get their GEDs and or graduate by university. And it's also where the girls' table tennis team competes and dances. So I have a lot of. I'm usually like in a library or in a classroom, wherever I can.
So you have your own space dedicated to different movements. That's not necessarily shared with the actor.
Yeah, at that time, but it's like I only have a week.
Previews. We love it. Yeah, previews beforehand. Yeah. Oh.
You check the testing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I do mine in June, is so that it's after, right? And we're middle, so we don't have to do it in either.
Are you after? Do you see the after school?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry.
But then we do have to worry about random things because then they have after school intervention for testing. All right, so.
Do you guys know you're still going with that?
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna look at the testing calendar. I don't even want to know. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with that. Auditions. So
December.
Yeah. Right, 2026.
You're in charge.
Yes. And we're doing a 7 p.m. show or Crane. We love Friday 7 p.m.
Saturday 1 o'clock.
A 1 p.m. and a 7 p.m.
You mean this one?
Yeah, no, we need this one. I'm not taking Saturday. Yeah. Okay. Auditions. December or January? December. It can't be the week of break. Could be the week before.
We're not the week of break to figure it out.
So it would be.
So do we know is Lanisha?
So yeah.
It's a pretty small. Should be done with probably more people.
Yeah.
Also double casting.
But
You want at least have the elites.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you only have like
Performance fee.
four leads.
Like, saying that makes it sound like all is supposed.
Or it's so.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not. That's good too much working down. Rather than have to. I live in the East Village and I go to downtown Brooklyn. Where are you?
So if the ship is in May, what do you?
Just have I hold the auditions before the spring. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we could be.
See, chances.
And we can just decide. So we'll do these 2 weeks.
We're gonna do like
8 to 19.
I do try to impress.
Yeah. I mean,
What materials do you usually need? I've never.
I have my students costume their own show. Like I'll buy props and maybe like a couple additional things. Like for In Heights, they had like aprons for the salon, so I bought that. But pretty much the students bought the rest of their own costume stuff. Or like wore their own clothes. It took place in New York City, so I'm like, it's not Shrek, but we need costumes for Shrek.
But for the audition,
For materials,
for
auditions, I would say like music, like at least one song that you're having them all sing and snack.
and you start rehearsal when you come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Like read through here, and then start rehearsals here, or at least.
And I'll see if I can find the example.
And also, if you're mixing, you could also just make it like merge the cell and split it, and then just make it two different.
I'm curious, like, like,
your like design team slash.
It still might be the same person doing multiple roles.
you would actually do.
You also have an assistant students. Or two is to pay the
Yeah. Well, when I'm in high school, stage manager slash assistant director is basically what I'm saying. This you usually.
Thank you. I thought I caught it, but we're not the
So, book date. I want them to be off book in April, beginning April 1st. I always say, when I said not book date, it has to be a date that the kids can remember. So, oh yeah, like,
This is May, yeah.
And also, you know that when you set the book date, they're gonna be on.
Yeah.
So,
I would say March here.
oh, is April break? Is it the first? So,
in March.
yeah,
And then they got little breaks to attempt to finish.
so March 23rd.
Also, like, yeah, I'm opposite. Even though I didn't know how to do that. Right.
Costumes would be a suggestion.
Yeah, and that's what when I Romeo and Juliet did Montagues, you all wear yellow. The Capulets, you all wear blue.
Right.
Yeah, or actually, I think the prince and all the royals wore yellow, and the Montagues wore red, and the Capulets wore blue, and the kids brought in colors.
They can wear their own clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whatever.
yeah, that's what we.
Yeah. But
Anybody else, servants, you wear or whatever. Brown with the blue. Or,
Gift is maybe 2 weeks of operations or talking about it and building it, and Dale wrote the story.
They're all in places. Yeah. And you see them 3 days a week.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh.
From 2:40 till like 15. Good. And when they were off book, was like it just it's like they're never gonna be off.
Well, they did quickly.
And then boom, all of a sudden after spring break, it's like
That's awesome.
I know.
Creating your own.
Kudos was to see.
Oh, in the high school. Love to see it. Share this.
All right, let's all. We're gonna have to wrap it up. So let's wrap it up and come back to this ceremony. We're not gonna finish, but it's all good.
It sounds like you do your first prep, or you should do your audition prep, the second round. The people you yeah, I guess it's tell you what to.
I think it would be simple. Like, yeah, see you here because you like take the whole week to audition.
Yeah. And then the prep after, how they're cool, like the delving process or what they're describing.
Good job.
Just change the door if you're
Material reading.
I don't know what that. Oh, for the auditions. Oh, yes, the sides.
It's about 3 minutes before you are supposed to be officially.
I like a synopsis.
I gave you. I know that some of these specific production cards that I gave you are ridiculous and impossible, but what stood out as we're trying to, map out this imaginary production. What came up for you all and your teams as you were trying to do the work?
I have to say one thing that Ryan brought up, which has been a major hurdle for, I think, all of us, especially in the spring, is Regions prep on the high school level. And I think we kind of came to a consensus that it might be better to do if we did the musical in the fall term, and if we did maybe the regular straight up production in the spring.
I'm going to show you I have a calendar from Curtis High School, which is they did Guys and Dolls in 2021, but they did their performances way earlier in the spring semester. So I'll show that to you in a minute. So that could be like the way that you backwards prep, right? Or you backwards plan based on key dates, or maybe you want to avoid, doing tech right after spring recess. So I think taking all of that into account at the beginning and mapping for it, planning for it, I think is really critical. Anything else that came up for folks as they were going through their imaginary production planning process? Yeah?
Audition week. Callie she does an audition prep week to get the kids prepared, and then she has a week of auditions, and I really like that.
Great. Instead of just one highly stressful day, I love they're preparing the students for what an audition is supposed to be like. Yeah?
We talked about, I never considered, I always do my auditions and then right afterwards start rehearsals, but doing the auditions before December break and not even starting rehearsals until January, I was like, that would give us time to measure for costumes before the break, have a production meeting with the cast list, and it lets the personalities that are upset about the casting have a whole while to have their moment before you start rehearsals.
Yeah. Give yourself more readings. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, I hope this was helpful. I hope this helped you look at the process a little bit in a different way. Great. But I did want to share just some additional resources that I can share with you. So I created a Google folder that has all of the templates that are in here. So we have no, this isn't it, sorry. My Drive. This PD. Okay, so it has that, the musical production planning template. It has sort of the resource questionnaire. If you want to go back and do it at your school with some colleagues, like maybe you rope someone in, you can brainstorm on this for next year. Something that's also in here that I think could be helpful is Roundabout has a program called the Roundabout Youth Ensemble. And we have a group of students in the summer that do a full production of a play that was written by a student. Right, and it's very much the students doing everything. There's a student lighting designer, set designer, costume designer. There's the crew, and what we've done for that particular process is that we've created handbooks for each department that we do with the students. So, for example, with stage management, let me look at that one because I like that one. Is that it gives the students what they should be thinking about or knowing or understanding as a part of the process. It might also include some basic vocabulary or strategies that they use as a stage manager, right? So how do you document the blocking in the script as a stage manager so that you can remember for when you get to tech? We also have included things that they should do, right? So checklists of things that they should do for every week of the production process. And then, some potential end of pre-production reflection questions that they can ask themselves, the students can ask themselves. This could be useful for you if you're the person that's doing this for your particular process, right? Sometimes it's nice to, in your reflection, to think about what emoticon represents how you're feeling in that particular moment. So anyway, so that is something that I can share with you, that I'm happy to share with you. It also includes the production calendar template, and so what that looks like now is December spelled correctly. But this is, you can make a copy for yourself and edit it. One of the things that I did is that depending on the number that you put in the first cell, it changes the rest of the cells. So you can use this from year to year. So if next year Sunday starts on the 8th, you can change the 8th, and ideally, it changes the rest of the week. Right? So you just have to change the numbers here instead of changing all of the numbers in every single cell. So let me get back here. But I wanted to show you a little bit. That's so funny. That's the best reaction I've had all week to my work. I've also included something that might be helpful for you all as the directors, but you can also do this with the students, is a production analysis workbook, right? So you can you can sit with your script and start documenting all of the things that come up, right? So what are like prop pieces, specific sound cues. You can go through your script, analyze it for all of the technical elements, have it all in one place. Ideally, you do this with your person who's helped, or people that are helping you with these components. And then from there, you can really think about like, all right, let's begin the designing process, the planning process for that. And I did want to show you, again, this is the Curtis production calendar from 2021. So you can see they started their pre-production in December. And they use this Sunday block to sort of label what the week will be. They had 3 weeks of load-in, 1 week of technical rehearsals. They were meeting 3 days a week, right? So they had all of their rehearsal schedule on here. They had, and then they had their performances in April. That's instead of May, right? So that their opening nights, and then Strike would obviously be after that. So they decided that that was the schedule that worked best for them. But because they have a big stage, they needed more time to be loading in the set and building it out, right? So this is the production schedule that worked for them. So what I can do is, before you leave, write your name and email up there, and I can share this entire folder with you. You can have all of these resources. In here as well, in here as well is on stage. This is something that Kemba shared with me. So it's an entire manual that really can walk you through the production process. This is not created by Roundabout, but you'll see it has all different kinds of templates that you can use that allow you to go into more detail. It has the roles, but see, it has like a scene breakdown, right? So this is in there as well as a resource for yourselves.
Nice.
And then just selfishly, I have a couple of things that I wanted to share at Roundabout. If you are free in the summer, I want to let you know about the Theatrical Teaching Institute. It's a week-long intensive that we do that focuses on our theatrical teaching framework. First half of the day focuses on how Roundabout teaches theater. The second half is all about devising, so giving you strategies for creating theater with students. It kicks off with a performance of the Pirates of Penzance musical, and that show is used sort of as a through line for the week. And if you use that code, you can get a $100 discount, and just so you can get a sense of what the week looks like. All of it is interactive workshops. Mornings will focus on sample workshops that are like arts integration focused. Afternoon is devising. If you're interested, if you're free the week of July 13th, would love to have you join. And there's extra flyers on that chair over there if that is something you want to take. I'm going to ask you for one favor before you all go. Can you peel off all of these cards and stick them on this wall for me for the next group?
Yes.
Oh.
And
wait.
In that folk drive, you have all this, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
Why?
How do you print it
on a Post-it? We have a template that we created. which I can give to you.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you have to create a document that looks like this. So you create a document that looks like this, and then you put the post-it over that, and then you run that through your printer.
Whoa.
So you can just take that if you
Wow.
want. Yeah, the post-its.
Whoa.
Then the post-its don't come off. Thank you.
That's wild.
Thank you. Oh, and if you have the production challenge cards, I'll take those back.
Those were.
Production challenge card.
Did you want feedback from us? That's just for.
That's for you. That's for you. Is there one more production challenge card?
Yes.
Okay. Great. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really informative.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Inspiring.
Thank you.
Oh.